Coolio once described his hometown of Compton, California as a gangsta's paradise. But a gambler's paradise is undoubtedly Las Vegas, Nevada. This might seem strange, since Las Vegas has very few reasons to ever build a city around it. There's no major natural source of water, and is surrounded by a basin of mountains on all sides. The reason for its existence is gambling. And while intense heat drives people into its strip casinos, operant conditioning keeps them inside. Simply walking into a casino is enough to see mind tricks at work. Outside, the heat can be unbearable, especially in the summer, but once you're inside, you are met with friendly faces and inviting architecture. Ugly carpets naturally cause your mind to drift to the many slot machines with bright lights and huge dollar amounts listed that you might believe you can win. You may even just think to yourself, one try can't hurt, right?
Operant conditioning, unlike classical conditioning, aims to change what someone chooses to do rather than a simple automatic response. The basics of operant conditioning for our purposes today, though it does go much deeper, are that if you reward someone for doing something, that action will become more likely, and if you punish someone for doing something, the action will become less likely. And the more you do it, the more happens, and the greater the effect. It also works better over a long period of time, and it can be used to change the actions of animals, people, or really anything that makes decisions. One of the most famous studies in operant conditioning was when B.F. Skinner managed to make pigeons peck at a plate on the wall in order to release food. It rewarded the pigeons for pecking this button on the wall by releasing food. And after they randomly did it enough times, they realized, oh, I can peck this button and it gives me food. And they started choosing to do it. And,
Pulling the lever on a slot machine is not too much unlike the pigeons pecking in B.F. Skinner's study. Gambling addicts are similarly conditioned to the positive reinforcement of receiving slightly more money, a secondary positive reinforcer, than they put in. And just like the pigeons, even if each peck doesn't receive a reward, it only takes the occasional win to develop deep addictions. Because of this, casinos feel comfortable offering more money initially, with the plan to win it all back in time. They may even offer special cards that offer perks and rewards for gambling more or spending money in the casino as a whole. They may even give you free credits to a slot machine in hopes that you'll spend it all and continue spending after you've lost it. Unlike classical conditioning, casinos don't simply intend to get their customers to do something, but rather use operant conditioning to convince them to choose to do it. For example, making squirrels prefer walnuts over pecans by zapping them with electricity every time they try to pick up a pecan. The key is there in that reward-punishment system. In the squirrel example, we used punishment, but casinos primarily use reinforcement. This is because they're trying to get someone to do something, not to not do something. That's what the money is. I said earlier that it's a secondary reinforcer, but what does that even mean? Well, primary reinforcers are things like food, water, or some other biological mechanism that needs to be fulfilled. They're generally stronger, but secondary reinforcers are things that simply are linked to those. So money can be used to buy food or other necessities in life, making it a secondary reinforcer. This is very useful to the casinos because just a little bit of money coming back to the gambler allows them to continue conditioning him over time, eventually creating someone who is entirely reliant on the system for satisfaction and feels the need to use it. And that's why gambling addictions are so hard and why casinos can often be so predatory. This addiction is so hard, if not impossible, to overcome and has dragged many down to owning nothing while convincing them that their big win is just around the corner. So if you ever find yourself in Vegas due to possible substance-related means, don't do what they did in The Hangover. Steer clear from those machines, and even outside of the casinos, if you can.